All right, on the Pepsi hotline now is Bo Nix. The Auburn quarterback joins us each week, courtesy of the rental division of CraneWorks. RentalWorks, the source for all your equipment needs, big or small. They got the big equipment like skid steers and excavators, all the way down to smaller equipment like pressure washers, brush mowers, or trailers. CraneWorks.com for more info. Bo, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today.
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Doing wonderful. I imagine when you play 12 games a year, maybe they all feel the same. I don't know. I've never done what you do, but that seemed like a fun game and fun atmosphere Saturday night against Ole Miss.
It was one of the best ones that I've been able to be a part of. One of the better home ones. I think the fans, for whatever reason, they from start to finish, they were just into it and they had a blast, and it was kind of like a big party. And so it was just fun. And I know it had something to do with the outcome of the game.
Can I ask you just a personal question? The light show and fireworks, a full fireworks show between the third and fourth quarter. You guys are trying to do your business during a TV time out there. Is it distracting? Do you find yourself glancing around at the lights and the fireworks to stay focused at that time?
It wasn't necessarily distracting for me. I think most of our guys handled it well too. But at the beginning of the game, when kind of you run out the tunnel and the lights are off and the lighting is kind of like orange and everyone's got their flashlights on, it was kind of a really, really cool experience, actually. One of the coolest ones that I've been a part of. And then throughout the game, like I said, it was just like a big party. So there was fireworks going off, the lights were in and out, a bunch of music. And I think that kept the fans into it more than it did distract the players, which is good. It just kind of shows the maturity of our team.
Bo, we've talked about it. Even with 2 losses, you guys control absolutely everything. In order to get there, you're going to need Tank Bigsby. How nice was it to see Tank Bigsby play the way he did Saturday night?
It was great, from the second, or really the first play of the game when he caught the swing, and then just from then on out, he was in the flow of the game, had a good rhythm all night. He ran the ball very physically, downhill, just tough and hard-nosed like Tank always does, and he just did a good job of running through guys and breaking tackles and being hard to tackle. And then by the end of the game, those guys didn't want to tackle him anymore. And then just to have guys like Jarquez come in next and then feed off of that and just run the ball hard. And Jarquez is a physical guy too that can make some guys miss. And so when the defense has to tackle guys like that, it can be a long game for them.
Bo Nix is with us on the Pepsi hotline. Forget the big box stores. CraneWorks Equipment Rental Division. RentalWorks has reliable machines and local experts to help you find exactly what you need. Call them for a personalized quote or visit CraneWorks.com to see their full inventory. They bring you Bo Nix each week with us on the show. You may disagree with this, but I think most of America agrees you've played the best quarterback you've played in an Auburn uniform over the last month or so. A, would you agree with that if you assess yourself? And B, if so, can you trace it back to any reason? Has something clicked? Is it Mike Bobo? What has happened that has caused you to play so well over the last month?
Yeah, I think I've kind of shown flashes of it throughout my career, but this is probably the most consistent that I've been able to play for probably a lot of different reasons, just kind of probably a long list. But I do think this year that just really all year I've played good football. You can go back to the opening game of the season. I started really good. I was comfortable with the offense, and that was kind of when we started getting used to everything, the operation of our offense, and then moving on. Had a big game against Penn State, and then obviously just didn't finish the game like we had wanted to offensively. And then just from LSU on, I think that I've just played just kind of with it, not necessarily a chip on my shoulder, but just I've played very ready to compete, and I've been able to compete and have competed at a high level. And I just wanted to do whatever I had to do to win, just stop all the other stuff that was kind of distracting me and stop just trying to make the perfect play and the perfect throw and be absolutely perfect and fit in the offense perfectly. And then I realized, that's not going to happen, and I have nothing to lose. And so at LSU, I just went out there and competed very hard, and I played as hard as I could, gave it all out there to the team, and we came out on top. And so since then, I've just had some confidence that I've been playing with, and just confidence on our scheme, confidence in my my preparation going into each game. I know what I'm doing with the ball, and when I know what I'm doing with the ball, usually I'm able to make the most of it and to throw some good throws. And so just from then on, just obviously the coaches, Coach Bobo has put me in a good situation. So just all of it, I just feel like I'm very comfortable right now.
Coming into Saturday night, Ole Miss had 28 fourth down attempts. So coming into this game, you guys knew that they were going to be going for it. But in some of those situations, even as a quarterback, were you a little surprised Ole Miss went for it on fourth down?
I wasn't. That's kind of just their team. That's Coach Kiffin. And I think whether you like it or not, that's just his way of coaching. So either they get it or they don't. And usually when they get it, they score 2-3 more touchdowns, and all of a sudden the game's completely different. So if they would have gotten all those fourth downs, people would be praising him and talking about how kind of gutsy he is and stuff like that. But now I guess since they missed a few, he's kind of, they question him a little bit. But we knew going in, our defense knew that third down was not going to be all you had to stop them. You were going to have to stop them an extra down. And so they took advantage of those third and longs and made it fourth and long, and definitely tougher than manageable. And then the defense just came through when they needed to on fourth down, and that was a big down for us.
Admit it, though. You want to be a coach someday, maybe, and when you're playing video games, it's hard for you to take the 3 points too. When you're playing EA Sports college football, you want to go for it on fourth and short as well, don't you?
Absolutely. And there's no absolutely no field goals, no extra points, and no kickoffs. So you kick an onside kick every time, you go for 2, and you go for it on fourth down.
Oh, that's a guy who believes his defense online there when he's playing the video games. Speaking of your defense, getting Owen back, and I was at the game, so I sat there and I was charting the game, and I was like, every big name Auburn player is having such an elite night defensively, and having Owen back out there in the middle, how did everyone feed off of that, and you just assess the way your defense played in that game?
Well, it adds, like you said, it adds another dynamic player on defense. And so when you add another dynamic player, it allows those other dynamic players to be even more dynamic than what they've been, because now they don't have to necessarily carry an extra load. Now they can just worry about themselves, and they can just worry about their gap. And so a guy like Jacoby McLean plays better because he doesn't feel like he has to cover the whole field. He's got his buddy next to him. And Owen also provides just some speed, and that's one of his strengths. He's an extremely fast linebacker, gets to the ball very quickly, very smart. So he helps us get in the right play calls on defense, helps to get everybody lined up. And then it just for guys like Chandler Wooten, they can now have a different role, and they don't have to necessarily carry such a big burden. So when you add a guy like that back into the mix, it just helps everybody. And not only does Owen now contribute, but it allows those other guys to contribute. And even though Owen's not probably necessarily, he wouldn't say 100%, because nobody is at this point. It just having him out there is just, his leadership is just, it's good for us.
Bo Nix presented with us weekly by the RentalWorks division of CraneWorks. He's on the Pepsi hotline. I want to go back to what you guys were talking about with the fourth down conversions and the analytics. How heavily, if at all, does that play into what you do as a game plan with Mike Bobo and Brian Harsin? How much of that is involved in what you guys do?
Well, you can look at the first drive, and we got across the 50 and got made a third and long, fourth and manageable. And obviously we were attacking, and we just lined up and ran the ball down the middle, and we knew we were confident in ourselves that Tank could go get a yard. And we've kind of known that throughout the season. We've shown some signs of going for it, being aggressive. And so usually whenever we get on our side of in our territory, we're more confident that we can go for it if we get to a fourth and manageable.
But you don't have a guy walking around with a binder like they. I mean, they got literally a guy with a 3-ring binder that is telling Lane Kiffin what the analytics say. Auburn does not have that guy.
No, but we just have a lot of experience. I think our coaching staff, and they just do a good job of knowing the situation. We have a very smart coaching staff, very I think analytical in their own right, just maybe without the book, but they just kind of know, they have a good sense of the football kind of IQ, and they know what's going on, and pretty good. And so usually when we get the chance, we do something fun like that.
Hey, random question. I was watching Rams-Texans yesterday, and Chris Myers on the broadcast said that they met pregame with Sean McVay, the head coach for the Rams, and they were talking to him about how many plays he's got in his playbook. And he said right at 200. And that number blew me away. As a quarterback, Going back to your Gus days, where you are right now with Mike Bobo, do you have a ballpark number of plays you guys have?
It's kind of been different. When you get in the pros, those guys, like, that's like their job. That's like that's what they do every single day for all day. So when you have that much time to prepare, obviously the number just increases, and probably 5% of the, maybe a little less, but most of those plays are similar families. They're just probably different formations or run differently. So it's not like you have 20 completely different plays that you have to learn. The formations may be the same. The plays may be the same with different formations. And so a lot of that kind of compares, but 200 is quite a bit. And for a college team, just depending on what kind of players you have on the offense, sometimes you have veteran guys that can learn that many and can handle it. Sometimes you have younger guys that maybe be a little bit overwhelmed with that number, so you have to kind of decrease it. So we do a good job. We find that happy medium with as much as we can bring in, while also knowing what we have put in and knowing what we can run and knowing what we can run well. We go by that method, and it seems to be working.
I saw on social media some little kids going trick-or-treating as little Bo Nix and little Izzy together, boyfriend and girlfriend with their cheerleading outfit on, some Bo Nix jerseys. Did the fiance get you to a Halloween party or a gathering in costume over the weekend?
Did not have a chance to dress up. It was a busy weekend, late game on Saturday, and we just turned around and had practice yesterday on actual Halloween. And so normally, unfortunately, during Halloween season, don't have time to dress up, but I did see a lot of people in my jersey, and that's just really special to me, knowing that there's kids that look up to me. Obviously, with that comes great responsibility, so I have to carry the weight well and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to, so kids can look up to me, and they want to be that for Halloween and want to be that when they grow older.
Well, that's a great attitude to have there, Bo. All right, 2:30. From College Station, Bo Nix and the Auburn Tigers on the CBS game this week. And Bo's appearance each week with us is presented by the RentalWorks division of CraneWorks. Everything from landscaping equipment like mowers to big machines like skid steers, and full certified operators to handle those big jobs. Find the fleet there at craneworks.com. Bo, thank you very much. Enjoy College Station. We'll see you next Monday.
Thank you so much. See you then.
All right, take care. Bo Nix with us each week, courtesy of the RentalWorks division of CraneWorks, and he appears, like all of our guests, on the Pepsi Hotline.